as you can see, the Fairmont has now come into the garage. There are a number of things in progress, including we have mounted the new K-member, which is lighter and smaller. It is a tubular form, so that will help with both weight and mounting the engine. We're also in progress of working on the rear end, the roll bar, and the mounting of transmission and engine. One change we decided to make is rather than going naturally aspirated, we decided to go straight to turbocharging the vehicle, since it would take much more time to optimize the naturally aspirated build as opposed to the turbocharged build where you can simply raise and lower boost as needed. So our goal is to, in about a month, take this car to the Grassroots Motorsports Challenge. It has a budget of $2,000 and we're hoping it does pretty good. So let's get some things done.
Alright guys, so another change we're making to the project is we're going to do the bell housing adapter a little differently. A previous video you probably would have seen that my brother spent a lot of time making a bell housing adapter that basically takes the engine mounting face of a small block Chevy and adapts it to the engine mounting face of a Vortec 4200. This time we're going to adapt the transmission bell housing bolting flange to the 4L60 bell housing bolting flange. So where we got this idea was from a bell housing like this. This is a J&W blow-proof bell housing, SFI approved, and it basically, you cut the bell housing off your Turbo 400 and then you bolt this in place of it, and it's good for safety and all that. So instead of going to a standard small block Chevy bolt pattern, we are going to use the 4L60E bell housing to go to the Vortec 4200 bolt pattern. So to start, we modeled the piece in CAD, and then I 3D printed it on my printer. I had to print it in 3 segments because my printer's not very large. And then we put it onto the transmission, tried it out, everything looked good, and then we made it in metal. So you can see the finished product there. It came out very well, and that's what we're going to go with. It makes a much cleaner solution. You don't have the little starter sticking out of the bell housing like we had to do on the previous bell housing adapter, and it should get the job done.
Alright, we are 5/8 offset to the left.
That's a different valve cover than yours, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a later engine.
Yours is plastic, right?
Yeah. Which we're talking about putting a plastic one in here, so they're a little different. The aluminum ones have a little bit more clearance, so this might be an exercise in futility. intake and valve cover hit at the same time. Cool. Alright guys, so here the engine is in the car. You can see it sits rather high. The hood is definitely not going to clear. We're either going to have to make a little clearance hole or put a hood scoop on it, or just don't run a hood. You can see on this side that we have the turbo mocked up. We had to trim the sway bar mount off of the car, so definitely not going to be running the sway bar. So the turbo would fit, and everything looks like it's fitting pretty good.
Inch and a half. So, well, this fender's down, so, okay, let's say an inch because of that side's not down.
Plus if we space the K member, it's going to rotate it down, so this is going to come down further. Well,
Yeah.
if we did an inch, I think it would, everything would fit.
So, if you can do it with 3/4, it's easy. That would actually make this better too. Because right now, I want to build a frame mount, and I'm just going to weld it in. And then if we ever change the engine, we just cut it out. But bring it over, bring this over, and let it attach here. That gives us more room for the drain and for the wastegate, and
Yep.
less complication there. The issue would be if we ever change our mind and not run a 6-cylinder, you got to cut a fabricated mount out. That's not a big deal.
Yep. The earlier valve cover has a different placement, and the fill cap's different, which we could shave it down like we did on mine, but
If we have to, we'll steal off yours, but
I wouldn't be going at the same time.
that was a joke. The 3/4 of an inch, we need to determine if that's adequate. Alright, so without the filler cap, there's another half inch, and the intake has half an inch. Put your finger over next to the, looks like that's gonna hit at 3/8 of an inch, so yeah, about 3/8 of an inch. So if we get rid of the cap, we should be able to bend the hood enough to absorb 3/8 there. 3/8 of an inch out there. Times 2 is 3/4. Sorry, 3/4, that'll fit. Times 3, 1.5 inches.
Okay, so
3/4 inch should work.
okay. Well, we got a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it, but we best be getting to it. So I'll catch you guys in the next one, and make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you wonderful content like this.